As the sun rose...
Okay, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my video. My channel. Here is another video. So what happened to Amelia Earhart? Let's actually watch.
On July 2nd, 1937, Amelia Earhart knew she was in trouble. Over the radio, she called, "We must be on you, but cannot see you."
So, Amelia Earhart is the first woman pilot to ever charter the seas. She goes missing in the Bermuda Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is some sort of like triangular formation between like the Pacific, Atlanta, and the South Asia Sea, where like the rapids are just all in different directions. So if you were to fly over it, you lose radio signal. And what's interesting about that is because like as we say it, it's like, oh, it's just the Bermuda Triangle. But then if we're talking about like the actual longitude, latitude, the Bermuda Triangle then is huge. So then when you fly over the Bermuda Triangle, it is probably still like a 4-hour distance. That it is so dangerous. It's probably where like Mother Nature even dispenses water or something.
Gas is running low. Been unable to reach you by radio. We are flying at 1,000 feet. Beneath her was water in every direction as far as the eye could see. She got herself into this predicament through a series of unfortunate events and bad decisions. Many of them could have been avoided with a better knowledge of physics. But even so, there was one thing she could have done in this moment, one switch she could have flipped that would likely have saved her life and changed history.
So yeah, she essentially goes missing when she flies over the Bermuda Triangle. So it's like, we're just wondering, like, what did she do before she chartered? Did she somewhere open up a aerodynamics book and fell in love with the book and studied it for 9 to 12 hours because she was the first women's pilot in American history? Like, the first women's pilot, you know, like the Wright brothers are they are the first Americans to take flight. Where did they learn this from? They learned it from Leonardo da Vinci. The person that painted the Mona Lisa also created the first aerodynamics to how to build an aeroplane.
This video is sponsored by KiwiCo. More about them at the end of the show. Amelia Earhart was vying to become the first female pilot to fly around the world.
I hope to accomplish something really scientifically worthwhile for aviation.
And she wasn't taking any shortcuts. Other successful...
So what is really cool about flying around the globe, it is probably like on everyone's bucket list. I will one day travel the world before I pass away. Another thing that is really cool about this whole story is, where is your emergency landing? Where is like your logistics company? Where do your interpersonal skills come in play? That if you are Richard Branson, one of the richest men in the world, like top 5, he runs Virgin Airlines. If you're Richard Branson and you have Virgin Airlines, you're going from England to France, you best hope that like you have spoken to people in Japan, the Japanese airport, and that you can use their landing strip if need be. It's like that is what we need. We need like all the aviation companies to like start calling up different airports around the country in case like you need an emergency landing. I don't know if I've ever been on like a near-death experience or something like that, but like the most normal thing you would hear would be like, okay, we're running low on fuel. Like, we don't know. We double-checked. That's why your flight takes so long. We double-checked. We have enough for 40 hours, but like we're running low 20 hours in. But don't worry, we're doing an emergency landing in Japan because like we called them ahead of time.
Successful circumnavigations had followed a northern route, mostly staying close to land. But Earhart's route would be the longest by following a path close to the equator. This meant the last part of her journey was the hardest, crossing the full width of the Pacific Ocean. The starting point for this crossing was Lae, a city on the eastern side of New Guinea. At the time, it was one of the world's busiest airports, a hub of traffic from Asia and Australia. At 10 a.m. on a hot July day, Airheart piloted her Lockheed Electra down the runway and took off on what would be her final flight.
The scariest thing is if a pigeon flies into your jet engine. So then, another prominent figure in American aeroplane dynamics history is Billy Bishop. He's like some World War champion. So he shot down the most amount of different planes. But like, so how would someone shoot planes if you're headed and you're flying and you're shooting a plane and that plane, a fighter jet, is shooting back at you? You would basically have to lure this plane and then pull your lever so you fly up and you do a loop-de-loop in your head. And now you are behind this plane and then you shoot it down. It's like Nintendo 64 Star Fox. You ever play that game from 1964? You're playing as Fox, it's like, and you jump in the plane, and you're chasing Falcon, and you do a loop. Or like watching Fantasia, Mickey Mouse 1904, like stuff like that. Star Fox in 1964 and Fantasia 1901.
The Pacific Ocean is huge. It's way bigger than the Atlantic. I mean, if you look at the globe from that side, you see almost no land. The problem was, in 1937, most planes could only fly a maximum of a...
So it's like, I'm looking at this globe. So if I look at a North American globe, I'll see Canada, United States, Mexico, Spain, Portugal, stuff like that. If I go east, I'll travel in Asia. But if I went west, I'll travel to Asia. So it's like, if we look at the stereotypical American atlas, it is probably easier sometimes to fly west. Like if I'm in Canada, I'm flying west to China. I bet flight times have changed since I became popular or something. Because stuff like that has got to make sense. And like, why does that make sense? Because Elon Musk, this guy in SpaceX, he has this private space company. It could be working with NASA, it could be working against NASA. But he sends this rocket ship up into space once every 300 days because he's trying to travel to Mars. The best time to travel to Mars when Mars is close to the Earth wouldn't be every single day. So they set a calendar date. Okay, here comes Mars in the rotation, and Earth's rotation around the sun is so perfect. It is right now, like this window span of a time. Elon Musk sets his rocket launcher, and then in unsuccessful mission, it explodes. Why is that so interesting? Because that didn't even reach Walmart. So what's the point if your spaceship can't reach Walmart?
few thousand kilometers. So Airheart removed everything unnecessary from her plane. She ripped out the insulation to reduce weight, but that made the engine noise so overwhelming she had to communicate with her navigator sitting right beside her using written notes. She packed almost nothing, telling her husband extra clothes and extra food would have been extra weight and extra worry.
Yeah, so it's like the riddle where it's like, will you be a successful soldier in the military? Take this test before you sign up. Okay. So this fighter jet flies back to the bunker. It has been shot at by the enemy. This plane was shot like in the body and a little bit around the wings. The sergeant asks you, we need to put armor on this plane. Where do you suggest we put the armor? Do we put the armor where it has been shot, on the body and the wing? And then the winning sergeant says, no, you don't put armor where it's been shot. You put armor where it hasn't been shot, so that it's like it doesn't carry extra weight or something. I forget how the riddle goes. It's to say you are generally wrong in basically everything you know. Thinking counterintuitively will even work here, because like you're adding weight to a fighter jet that has been shot and it returned for you to inspect it. So yeah.
She replaced the passenger seats with fuel tanks, effectively turning her plane into a flying gas can. But even so, the Electra's maximum range was between 6,600 and 7,200 kilometers in perfect weather. It could be just enough to reach Hawaii from Leh.
Every time I see the globe from outer space, I can't stop thinking about that Elon Musk joke. Your SpaceX rocket ship didn't even make it to Walmart.
Or she might come up disastrously short. So Airheart needed a place to stop and refuel along the way. Now, it might seem like there's no land here, but if you zoom in, there is this tiny island halfway between Australia and Hawaii.
Okay, that photo of DJ Khaled being held hostage by his dad with an AK-47 is so viral right now. Because what do we know about islands? We can purchase an island for $1 to $2 million. All we need is our own transport ship. So all we know we need to know how to navigate a boat or a ship from land. We then need like a shed to carry food, or we can go grocery shopping. Like go grocery shopping, bring it in a Tesla, put it on our boat, drive it to our island, and then put it in our shed, put it in our cooler, stash our food away. And then we just have to be careful when it says next week there's a blizzard. So then that we have to quickly leave. So then we can all afford an island. You know, we can all put away $2 million, buy an island, buy a boat, learn how to navigate a boat, buy a Cybertruck, buy an RV trailer near land that is safe. It's just whether or not Mother Nature will send a tsunami or tornado, a hurricane, a whirlpool, a twister, a volcano eruption, an earthquake at it. Like, look at this. If this is your land, it's fine, but it's so dangerous if Mother Nature is angry. You know, they'll send a whirlpool, a twister. It's just water rapidly like going against each other, and that twister just runs through your island. But then everything else is fine. Like I can spend 60 days there one summer. I bought this island, I'm gonna stay there for 60 days. I keep checking the weather app. It says it's fine. I go outside and then like I just have 4,000 acres of land to myself. I'm just standing there and then like, I don't know, just relaxing. You can imagine how relaxing it would be.
Howland Island is just over 2 kilometers long and less than 1 kilometer wide. The US had claimed it as part of the Guano Islands Act of 1856, but in 1937, it was barely inhabited with just a handful of colonists. It would be an ideal location to refuel if only it had a runway. Fortunately for Airheart, by the time of her round-the-world flight, she was already famous. In 1928, she became...
So yeah, that's called a landing strip. So it's like, that's why it takes so long for the plane you're on to take off. It's going on this landing strip, and then what do we have? We have those like matador people. Instead of using a red flag, they have the red action thing that directors use. So they have like signals, and then it's red and then it goes green. So then, in Thanos, in the movie Thanos, in the only timeline they can stop Thanos, their space-time continuum time machine is working. So Thanos is about to put in the gold star. They're like, we have the time machine still. And then they do the calculations. If we go back in time, Tony Stark says, in this only timeline is the only one we win, 7 lives will be gone. And then they say we have to save people. So then they agree to go into this time machine. They fight Thanos not knowing which one of them will die. Spider-Man dies, Doctor Strange dies, that Golem dies, like the Hulk dies, Superman dies, like Batman. So 7 people lives are gone in the only timeline. Tony Stark in his Iron Man suit with armor beats up Thanos. And Thanos falls to the ground, and then the story is people enjoy pain and suffering. And then Thanos is just knocked out. And then before that, prior to this, Thanos was looking at life like a wasteland. You know, he saw someone get stabbed. I don't want people getting stabbed because stabbing hurts. So he wants to collect the gold star to quickly send an atomic bomb to people's chest. Quickly wipe out existence. So that there is no pain at all. So then, to take the side of Thanos, you are saying, I'm in favor to change the outcome to those that want to feel no pain at all. It's like when time to tip the server. That good of a feeling. Grabbing that structured metal and being like, this is like in favor of trying to change the outcome to those that feel no pain at all. Like time to tip a server. So then when it's time in favor to feel no pain at all, in the only timeline, 7 lives were gone. In the midst of things, it's like the star is blue, but at the end of it, it is Mother Nature that wins. It is Iron Man in a metal suit that beats up Thanos. So what's interesting about Thanos in the Avengers? It's interesting because Thanos in the Avengers, you could say he's really misunderstood. You could say it's really like it's passable. Hey, Thanos just wanted to save people from pain and suffering, so he wanted to wipe everyone at the same time. But not everyone likes that. Like the running joke is that like the 7 lives were lost were superheroes. So then these people don't like that. We have to save people's lives, and then they beat him up. They lose 7 lives. Iron Man beats up Thanos. To say, in his iron suit with armor, people enjoy pain and suffering.